Tonight's episode of Real Nightmares is the 1995 Swedish horror comedy Evil Ed. Evil Ed revolves around the main character, Ed, who's a mild-mannered film editor. He's given the task of editing a series of very gory and very violent horror movies. Now, during the process of his editing, Ed starts to go a little crazy. In fact, he goes on a murderous rampage. Now, for being a horror, this really is a comedy.
Fuck you, man.
So, after watching the 1995 movie Evil Ed, Michael here, Michael Huntington, my special guest for this inaugural episode, who is an amazing editor himself. Michael, what were your first feelings about the movie Evil Ed?
Yeah, the first feelings of Evil Ed, I thought it was, it was crazy.
Come on, race me to hell!
And the good guy turns evil.
I knew nothing about it. I didn't watch a trailer. Didn't do any research really jumping into it. I think I knew it was going to be old school. I don't know too many films that feel like Evil Ed, although I can only relate it to like the newer films like Terrifier. I feel like what Terrifier was like a perfect example of what that film is. It just feels like old school horror.
Oh, absolutely. It was kind of like a guerrilla filmmaking because it was independent filmmakers in the 1990s. I mean, let's think. I mean, the same year that came out, I mean, we're looking at movies like Twister. Twister came out that year.
Wow. With
a huge budget, and this one came out with a budget of about $300,000.
Yeah, and I mean, the coolest thing about it, I think, was like the practical effects, like, were great. I feel like a lot of the budget, I think, went towards that. There's multiple demons that are in the movie, and you're like, holy shit, this actually looks really good for what the film is. The sound design, well, because I didn't know this was dubbed in English. I thought it was just like some of the dialogue that I was hearing, I thought that was what they actually said on set and then just decided to dub the whole movie.
Oh, hi, Eddie. Come on in. So, Eddie, what's your problem?
The name of the movie is Evil Ed. What's another famous movie that kind of sounds like that? How about
Evil Dead?
Evil Dead. And if you're looking actually in the movie, there are posters of Evil Dead hanging in it.
Yeah.
His manager's name is Sam Campbell. Sam Raimi directed Evil Dead, and Bruce Campbell starred in it. The guys are going to break into the house and rob him. And he grabs a shotgun out of the back of his car and goes groovy.
Load him. Groovy.
When Ed goes and meets his boss, or we see him meeting the boss for the first time, he's like, has hands on this girl. You can hear these people hooking up, I think, and it's very faint. I think you have to really be listening with headphones, and like the guard just yells out, "It's molesting time."
That's great.
It's molesting time.
Oh. I'm Sam Campbell. Welcome to the team. Have a seat.
Yeah, well, and I really love the concept about like an editor becoming sort of possessed by what he's making. You know, like he's like, and you see a lot of crazy shit when you're editing, and I think it is sort of a fascinating concept of like these things start to bleed into your real life, and what you're seeing sometimes isn't real because you're so like you're looking at the screen and you're living in that world for so long that it starts to bleed through. I think that's a really cool concept.
See, that's actually a question I was going to ask you during this conversation is, could you see yourself actually going mad with enough of that?
I mean, maybe. I haven't had enough experience editing horror, I guess, to like sort of have any crazy things that Ed is going through. But I could definitely maybe relate to like you're working on it for so long, you start to go a little crazy because you're just like sitting there for hours and you sort of do forget what reality is, I think, for a while.
What's wrong? Are you feeling ill? Homesick?
I don't know. Don't worry. It'll probably pass.
Well, I actually love the opening of the movie when the first editor is going crazy while trying to edit.
Yeah, dude.
He's just got film. He's ripping out of everywhere.
Going crazy.
He won't open the door, and Sam Campbell's yelling at him, and finally he just has a guy that in a film studio randomly has an acetylene torch and rolls it over to the door and cuts the door completely off the hinges.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Put it down. I said put it down! You're fired!
What I loved with the cinematography, and I think a lot of old school movies did this with Moonlight, they made it so blue and so punchy. Like, especially in Evil Ed, the moon is so intense, and it becomes its own character, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
In the movie. And it's everywhere, all the time. Every time there's a night scene, there's this massive blue light that is just throughout the entire house. And I'm kind of a fan of that. They do it in Stranger Things a little bit, where like when it's nighttime and you're seeing outside, it's this very like weirdly super exposed blue light, as if the moon is that. And I think like a lot of old movies would do that to emulate Moonlight. And I thought it was really cool.
Let's talk about some of the funnier aspects of this film. Let's talk about when Ed is making his run. He's going on that murder spree.
Yeah.
He is shot, and the next thing you know, he's in a straitjacket getting wheeled off into the hospital. And what I find absolutely hilarious is this janky little hospital, and they're wheeling him through there. He's screaming. They've got people pinned him down. I mean, he's been shot in the face, shot in the shoulder. They give him a little trank to kind of calm him down.
Give him 10 cc.
And then they just let him lay there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like utensils on the table. There's scalpels and pliers and all kinds of stuff. And they're like, we don't need to strap this guy down. He's only freaking the hell out.
Well, you got to move the plot along, you know, and I think especially in Evil Ed, that makes sense that, you know, they're going to let all those things live right next to this maniac. His final showdown with the I don't know, like SWAT team, I guess,
And
drill sergeant.
And that's an amazing thing in itself, that they call the security guard calls the police, and these 5 guys all blacked out in gear, and the captain is smoking a big cigar.
Yeah. That was so funny, dude. But their final showdown, I don't know if you remember it, but like they do this dope movement where it's like the camera becomes sort of the bullet in the hallway.
Yep. There is a little sneak cameo in there when he's editing the film, and you hear the character on the film saying, "Stop looking at me," or "Don't look at me."
Yeah.
Did you recognize the voice?
No.
That's actually Bill Moseley.
Did it hurt? Stop that! Stop it! Bitch! Don't you fucking look at me!
Which has played Otis Driftwood in Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
3 from Hell. He played Chop Top in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Wow.
And this is all before he started doing it, but yeah, he just made a little cameo and he just did the voiceover for that. Do you think that if someone were to remake or redo this film, do you think it would be an interesting concept to make it a more serious film? About an editor,
Oh, for sure.
like slipping into psychosis,
For sure. I think
losing touch with
it
reality.
could definitely be like an Amityville horror sort of thing. If you took it to a serious note, I
Right.
think, you know, how the house makes him crazy. I think I do love the idea of how the edit is making him crazy. You know, obviously no demon refrigerator things or, you know, chopping off people's feet. But, yeah, I think it's a great concept, and I mean, could be explored, and maybe it is explored in another film. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this or the concept of it, so I don't know.
All right, so let's give it your official review. We're gonna give it out of 5 stars. We're not doing 5 stars. We're gonna do 5 headstones.
Ooh.
So out of rank of 1 to 5, where would you put Evil Ed?
You know, it's tough. I think I'd go with 3.5. Mostly just because the ADR is so crazy. But other than that, I think it's a really fantastic film. And if you haven't watched it, you can watch it on Tubi for free, is where I watched it. And if any of this seems interesting to you, you should check it out. I definitely think it's a 3.5 for me.
So guys, I'm gonna put it just about a 4 because it brings back the nostalgia for me of growing up in the, you know, being born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, going to the mom and pop video stores, you know, a couple bucks in my pocket, dollar rentals. I mean, I remember spending my summer, if I had friends over, $3, we're renting 3 movies, and pray mom doesn't see what we're watching because most of it's gonna have boobs and gore
Yeah, dude.
and vulgar language and refrigerator demons and stuff like that. So movies like that always have a real special place in my heart because it brings back such a memory for me. It's a core memory of something that I held so dear and that made me love movies. You'll always find, if you can find a good independent filmmaker from the 90s that made horror, like I said, those guys, they gave everything they had. I mean, well, like I had mentioned earlier, Charles Band from Full Moon Features, that guy put out 6 to 7 movies a year. You'll never recognize the people in his movie, but some of his best friends growing up and making the film industry popular. I mean, he worked with Stan Winston. He worked with John Carpenter. He actually asked John Carpenter to help on one of his movies. Like, sorry, man, I got something going on right now. And he's like, oh, well, what are you working on? It was Halloween.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, but he's like, he was just so disinterested with trying to do like a big thing that he just did his own.
Yeah.
Took what he had, and they made incredible movies out of him.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this. It was a good time.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for your time. It's been a fun one. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And that's it for this episode of Real Nightmares. Woo! Woo!
Great.